welcome to At Home with AJ. I'm glad that you welcomed the Kingsville Public Library into your home today. And today we're going to be making what I call Pixie Dust Pie. And the reason that we call it Pixie Dust is one, because the way you put it together and the way it turns out is kind of a magical transformation. And I also like it because you can give it your own personal touch. We're going to start with the basic recipe, and then I'll tell you some ways that you can sprinkle a little pixie dust to make it your own, and that regardless of what your family likes, you'll be able to adjust it to your own taste. So what you're going to need, and you will find the recipe down in the comment section of this video, you will need some milk, some sugar, some baking mix, like a Bisquick type of baking mix, or actually pancake mix works too, just a little secret there. Some eggs, some margarine, some vanilla, and then depending on what kind of pie you want to make, you may need some coconut. If you're going to make a chocolate one, you'll need some cocoa. For all of them, I recommend that you have some vanilla, or if you want to go with a different flavoring, you can use cinnamon and nutmeg, you can use almond flavoring. There's lots of different varieties to go ahead and do that. And if you were able to see the quiche recipe the other day, this is kind of almost the same recipe with just a little variation. Instead of making a main dish, we're going to make a dessert. So the other thing you will need is a blender. If you don't have a blender, you can make it in a hand mixer, but the blender works really nice because you can just throw everything in there, walk away, pour it into the pie pan, and you're done. And you will also need a deep dish pie pan. If you don't have a deep dish pie pan, again, a square 8x8 or 9x9 pan will work, but you'll need a greased pan. And so what we're going to do with this pie is you're just going to pour your milk, your sugar, your baking mix. And again, like I said, if you don't have a baking mix and you have pancake mix at home, you can use that. There are some good recipes out there for making your own homemade baking mix. And if you put it in an airtight container, it does stay for a couple of weeks, but it doesn't last a really long time because you have to use actual margarine or butter in it. So after a while, even in an airtight container, it will still start to mold. So we're just going to put everything in there. We have put all of the ingredients in there that we're going to use, except for I'm going to make a coconut one so that you can see how really magical this pie is. And we're just going to put our lid on it. We're going to put it in the blender for about 4 minutes, and then we'll pour it into our pie pan. So now that you've blended it for 4 minutes, you're just going to pour it into your greased pan. And yeah, it will kind of look frothy and weird on the sides. A little drip on my blender there. And it's in your pie pan. Now you're going to take your coconut, if you're choosing to make a coconut one, and sprinkle your coconut right over the top. Another fun way to do this, if you want to make an almond joy one, when you put all your other ingredients into the blender, if you were going to make a chocolate one, or as I like to call the almond joy one, where you use almond flavoring, you would also put your cocoa in when you blended it. And we're just going to sprinkle our coconut across the top, just kind of getting it all spread out nice and evenly. And then we are going to put it into the oven. If you notice, I did put it on a cookie sheet. That's just in case your pie were to boil over, or if you're like me, if you maybe bump the oven trying to put it in there. I just don't trust myself. That way, if you do have a spill, it spills onto your cookie sheet and not all over your oven. So you're only cleaning a cookie sheet and not your entire oven. So again, you pour your mix into the blender, blend it up, into the pie pan it goes. When this comes out, you will have a pie that has a crust, a middle, and then a glazed top. And I'll show you when the pie comes out. So this is our chocolate one that we made. And again, it was made the same as the other recipe. We just added a 1/4 cup of cocoa, and you can see the variation for the recipe down in the comment section. Okay, so in about 40 to 45 minutes, your pie is baked. You'll want to let it cool for about 30 minutes if you want to serve it warm, or longer. And when it's done, you'll see that the coconut makes a nice crusty top. There's actually a nice creamy center, and then a crust down on the bottom. We made a chocolate one earlier, again by just adding a 1/4 cup of cocoa. And if you look, you can see the crust forms on the bottom, a nice custard middle, and then a chocolatey top. And we did take some chocolate chips and kind of shave it on there so that it's nice and pretty for when you serve it up. So again, our recipe is down in the comments. There's lots of variations for it. I thank you for welcoming the Kingsville Public Library into your home today. And I hope that you will like, share, and comment so that your friends can be our friends. And if you would like to send feedback, our email address is referenced at kingsvillelibrary.org. Stay safe, stay well, practice that good social distancing, and we'll see you real soon.